Let's take a look at the early process of growing chili peppers. Of course, many chili heads create their own shrine to chilies in the form of a pepper garden. They grow with such passionate devotion because they can't find the varieties they need for cooking in the markets. I'm so devoted that I winter over my chilies in the greenhouse, so I'll always have a supply of fresh pods. But the main use of my greenhouse is for starting chili plants from seed. Since most nurseries have limited varieties of chili seedlings for sale, chili head gardeners are forced to buy or trade for exotic seed. In the dead of winter, I search seed catalogs to find new varieties that I'd never grown before. After selecting the seeds, I prepare the plastic grow cells by filling them up with a mix of potting soil, perlite, and vermiculite. I wet the mixture and place 2 seeds in each cell. Each variety is carefully labeled with a tag and recorded in a log. The cells are placed in trays, and the trays positioned on heating coils for quicker germination. At any time during the winter or spring, prepare the garden site. First, always add organic material such as aged manure or compost. Manure is particularly important because it is also your natural fertilizer. Next is the mixing of the organic material into the soil. I need the exercise, so I use a shovel to loosen the garden, but feel free to use a rototiller. Finally, with the shovel, I form the plot into rows and furrows for irrigating in the dry climate of New Mexico. The pepper garden is now ready for the plants. The next step in the garden, after the final frost of the spring, is to transplant the seedlings into the garden plot. I dig small holes in the garden, spacing the seedlings about 1.5 feet apart. Then the seedlings are placed in the hole, tagged with their code number, and watered thoroughly. Then I mulch the seedlings with newspaper weighted down with soil to keep it in place. Other pepper gardeners mulch with plastic film or grass clippings. In order to survive, chilies have a few basic wants and needs. Watering. Regular and measured watering is best, and remember that overwatering can lead to fungal diseases on the roots. Fertilizing. If you use manure in the plot, as we suggested earlier, it is unlikely that chilies will need further fertilization. Weeding. Even with mulch, those evil weeds will somehow find a way to grow. Always pull them immediately. Never use herbicides. Pest control. Use organic techniques when possible, like netting over the chilies to keep off pests. Hot pepper wax containing capsaicin is a natural insecticide for aphids and whitefly. So, barring a hailstorm, extremely high winds, a virus infection, or chili-loving rabbits, your plants should look like these. You know, this is one of my favorite times of the year because after working for months and months and months in your garden, the chilies are finally ripe and ready to be picked. And I've picked 5 of my favorite chilies that I grew this year, and here they are. First, a very, very wonderful ornamental chili. This is New Mex Centennial, and one of the reasons I like this particular chili is because it has multicolored pods on the plant for nearly the entire summer. And you can use these to do edging, to do borders. They make a very, very vivid display of chilies. They're also edible. You can use these just like a chili piquin. Next, if you like salsas, boy, I tell you, it's hard to beat a Serrano chili for making a really good pico de gallo salsa. These come in both green and red. They mature to red. The reds have a lot more sugar in them than the greens, so the flavor comes out a little bit more, and you combine these with chopped tomatoes and onions, a little cilantro, some vinegar. Boy, you've got a wonderful pico de gallo salsa. Next, the hottest chili in the world. We grew some of these. These are the orange habaneros from the Yucatan Peninsula, and I tell you, they may be hot, but you can tone them down when you make a hot sauce because you can use a fruit or a vegetable base to dilute the extreme heat of the habaneros. Now, these have a wonderful fruity aroma, too, and that's one of their distinguishing characteristics. Now, for people who like Cajun food, boy, it's hard to beat a cayenne chili. Look at this beautiful red cayenne, and you can use this to make a hot sauce, too, Louisiana style, or you can chop it up and use it in Cajun and Creole dishes. Now, I would be remiss living in New Mexico if I didn't grow some New Mexican chilies, and I did. And this is one of my favorites. This is one of the largest chilies in the world. This is the New Mex Big Jim. Now, this is not the longest one that I've ever seen. This is about 8 or 9 inches long. I've seen them as long as 14 inches, and you roast them and peel them and then stuff them.